Hello and welcome to another PlayStation 4 gameplay video from Train Sim World. So, in this video, I'm going to be doing a stopping service in the morning from Reading to London Paddington, and it should be quite busy. With any luck, we'll get some signals and things like that going as well. Of course, the whole point of these videos is for newer players, especially on PS4. We've not seen many games like this before. There might be a lot of things that you're still trying to figure out how to do, because the game doesn't give you much help, and the developers um, didn't put everything into the tutorials that they could have. So you're just loading in now. So as always, we have about 1 minute from when we spawn in to leave the station, signals permitting. So let's just do a quick cab setup here. AWS fuse on, EPW on, DSD on, train lighting on. Always spin it the wrong way at first. Daytime. So clear the AWS tone. Shouldn't need it, but we'll put the gauge dimmer on its lowest setting. And let's get underway. So you start the GWE services, doors closed, ready to go. But it does give you time to do your cab setup. So we'll just take it easy pulling out of Reading. There's a speed limit here, 25. 3 or 4 notches on the throttle is fine, and then just level it off. And then we have the third. So it's a gradual build up of speed out of here. And signal ahead is all clear. Let's put on some power. So you've got the free camera view, of course. Only problem is you can't see what's coming when you put it into that view, but it does look kind of good. There we go, at least I can sort of see up the track when we're in this camera. That was the DSD kicking in. So we'll be stopping at quite a lot of stations on the way along this this run. Don't know exactly which ones, I can't remember. There's a yellow up ahead, but you can't quite tell from this angle. It's going to be for the next track, because the track curves ahead, so the first one that comes into view will be the one for the track on the right. The more you drive the line, the more you start to remember where various things are. Generally, the first bits you memorise are the bits that give you problems at first, which admittedly was quite a lot of them for me. But I think I'm starting to get the hang of it now. So we're sort of as this journey goes on, I think there will be more and more traffic coming out onto the line. The scheduled service, obviously, some times of the day are busier than others. I'm hoping we're going to catch some rush hour commuter stuff going back and forward. Might even see a freight train actually. There's one of them knocking about at this time of the morning. I think. So, station's coming up ahead. We're coming up for within half a mile, so let's just start slowing down. So the brakes on the 166 are really good. So full service braking is the maximum you should ever really be putting on. We actually slowed down a little bit sharpish there. 30 mile an hour is a good speed to be doing as you pull into a station. We'll just coast a little bit further up the platform. Although it says we're due at 7:40 bang on, you can be up to about a minute and a half behind, and it'll still give you it. So unlock the doors, and then just sit and wait for the passengers to get off and get on. Twyford. Yeah, they look alright inside. Everything's there that should be. Not going to press those because there are still some bugs and niggles they need to work out with this game, and one of them is that closing the doors manually won't. It sometimes messes up your door closing when the passengers are loaded. Like the game still counts them as being open, and you have to lock them and unlock them, and it just loses you a bunch of time. So that's passengers loaded. Lock the doors. And get underway. So 6 miles to the next station, we should get up to a fair lick of speed. accelerates quite nicely, this train. Still think the German ones accelerate and brake a little bit quicker than this one. Well, maybe not on the brakes, but there's not much in it. That's because we haven't touched the controls for a wee minute. The DSD kicks in. So we're still out in the countryside here. We've got a ways to go, and then it starts to get more and more built up as you get into London, or in towards London. I don't honestly know where London starts and finishes exactly on this line. After about 60 miles an hour, this train does start to get a bit more sluggish. It definitely gets outrun by the talent too at this point. But I have to be honest, I prefer driving this train. I know I keep singing the Talent 2's praises, but it is a nice train, but I do really like this one. It's the DSD again. This is there's not a huge amount to see on this part of the line, really. It's a bit spartan out here. That's fair to say. I just need to keep one eye on the speed gauge there as it creeps up towards 90. It's slow, but it's easy to forget that it is moving at all and just take your eye off it. You get mesmerised watching for the signals in the distance sometimes. So that's one of the work sites for the electrification of the line, which is you'll see that the gantries come and go. There's an AWS alert, that's for a speed limit change coming up. You'll notice that the overhead electric gantries come and go. We've got quite a while to go actually before we need to slow down. When they were developing this part of the game, the Great Western electrification was ongoing, and that's shown in the scenery, which is kind of cool. Nice little detail. So we're coming up to that 75 now. Let's just pop that in there, and we're not far from Maidenhead anyway, so from 75 we can actually brake fairly late. Still getting the full service brakes on this train are pretty good. And stop. Oh, okay, have a little look. Yeah, close enough. Yes. That's the collectibles. Railway station signs. God. Right, so nearly loaded up. So we're doing not bad for time. Let's just get moving. I'm gonna be fairly aggressive with the throttle, I think. So tap low next, tap low, tap low. My geography of this area that the game's set in is pretty pish, to be honest with you. The speed limits are all fine. Nothing we need to sort of watch for, no surprises. You have to watch for points coming up and stuff like that. Speed limits can come at you quicker than you realise. You're not paying attention. That's the thing with this game. I mean, if you start turning off the bits of the heads-up display when you start to learn how to read the signals and stuff, it does actually make it. Speaking of which, there's a double yellow, so that tells us just watch out, because the next one's going to be a caution signal. We can stop quite comfortably if we have to from 60 miles an hour. So we'll just sort of, I could stop quite comfortably from 70, 75, more than likely. But we've got a station coming up anyway. So horn controls there. It is clicky draggable like all the controls in the cab, but I've got a keyboard that's hooked up to the console. That makes things a lot easier, and I should have been braking a long time ago. Be busy playing with my knob. That one I meant. Obviously. Because that would just be weird. Right. And the doors. So the fact we've got a double yellow signal suggests there is a train on the line ahead of us. So we might get more signals if we keep good time. That makes it a bit more interesting. But what I was saying before was if you start turning off some of these assists and things, and you have to pay more attention to what's going on out the window, you have to watch the signals and things, it does actually make it a much better game. It was more challenging the more that you take charge of rather than letting the game hold your hand. I do still use the distance one on the HUD because some of the signs are really tiny and I've not learned the route that well yet. I do turn the signal helper back on for the American routes as well, and the German one sometimes, because I'm still learning the signals there. Yeah, that'll be that one I wanted to press. Oh, God. The engine stop button shouldn't be the same. The engine buttons shouldn't be the same colour as the door buttons. That's just stupid. Oh, crikey. Right, so no harm, no foul. Next up is Burnham, and I'm going to be very careful about what buttons I'm pressing this time. Yikes. As we get closer and closer to London, we find that the stations, some of the stations are quite close together, so it's you're pretty much always on the brake or the power. So under half a mile to go. Let's just start shedding a little speed. We'll be alright for time, I think. A little bit more on the brake. And let's just... Right, so I did nearly go for the wrong side of the doors there. Oh, the door's on the opposite side, but not quite, my friend, not quite. Oh, you can wander about in the cab if you want, or in the coaches if you want. You can actually spawn in on foot and just be a passenger in one. I don't know how you would, but you can. So, it's, don't think we're going to have to wait. We're going to be pretty much just going straight away. And there we go. Oh, fairly quick run to the next stop. Hopefully without any disasters involving the wrong buttons this time. Should see a bit more traffic on the line as we go past 8 o'clock. DSD alert because we haven't touched the controls in a while. Again, taking a little while to get up to speed here. Another building site. You see a lot of building sites on this line. Of industrial estates and stuff as well, it looks like. Love that sound when you go over the points. Really can't fault the sound effects in this game. ESD again. Better get ready to start. Does sound good. A couple of trains here. Another commuter heading out the way, and an express train over there on the fast lines. Stop. So we'll unlock the doors. Can drive the train from the outside cameras, perfectly possible to do that. I don't do it a huge amount, I have to admit, just because I like being able to see properly what's going on at the front. The detailing is pretty spot on, I think. I'm not an expert, and I'm sure there probably are things wrong with it if you look closely enough, but to a relatively untrained eye like mine, I'd say that looks alright. Certainly a hell of a lot better than the first train simulator I ever played. Way back in 1980, can't even remember. It was called Southern Belle, and you drove a steam train from London to Brighton. It was pretty basic, has to be said. Come a long way since then. So that's the express moving away. We can't see it, unfortunately, because of the... oh yes, nope. It's on the other side of that. station building. Right, let's get going. I did also play Train Simulator, the original Microsoft Train Simulator back in 2001, I think it came out, 2002 maybe. Um, Enjoyed it a lot, but I haven't really played anything train related since, until this came out. So quite a long run to West Drayton now. Nice clear signal ahead. ESD, because we haven't been touching the controls. We probably won't need to for a little while either. Love that noise. So just need to keep half an eye on the signals, as it's past 8 o'clock now. The line will get busier and busier for a wee while, and then it settles down again. And there's a caution signal ahead, well a double yellow which goes to green as we approach. We're all good. So we're following a train down the line, depending on how quick he's going. We'll probably be stopping. We might stop at West Drayton before us. We might get some signals on the way along here. Yeah, there's another yellow ahead. And there's the AWS just confirming that, so we'll just back off of the power just now. Double yellow, of course, means that the next signal is currently at single yellow, which is a warning that the next one is red. It may well change in the time it takes us to get there, but we'll just back off the power while we coast round, so that we've got plenty of time to slow down and stop if we need it. See yellows ahead, can't quite tell if it's a double or a single yet. So it's a double. So we can keep up our speed a bit yet. If it was a single, I wouldn't be accelerating. But I know that I can stop this train from fairly high speed in a fairly short distance, so 2 miles to run to West Drayton as well. Just sound the horn as we're approaching a station, and there's the AWS alert again. Still a double yellow, so we're just following another train down the line at the moment. It keeps the signalling system's designed to keep the trains a couple of miles apart most of the time. Another yellow signal. It doesn't really matter what the one after it is, because we're going to be arriving at the station. I think the next signal's beyond the platform end. This is when the scheduled service is working really well. You can see we're due to arrive at 8:08, and we are going to arrive pretty much on that time. And it's allowed for the fact that we wouldn't be running at full speed for a lot of that particular leg. Other times it just seems like it's deliberately set to fail. I think it does need a little bit of tweaking and tuning from Dovetail for that. So let's just hit the brakes. Not too hard. Just coasting to the station. Let them out a bit. Nah, let them in a bit. And full service. That's it. Oh, want the open one. At least I didn't switch the engine off this time. That's something. So making nice time still. Can't remember how far along the line we are. Let's have a quick look. We're actually pretty far along. We're going left to right on that line if you've not actually played the game yet. There goes one of the early morning express trains to London. We're just about 15 seconds to go. Oh, superb. I've just got the cursor bug again. Does occasionally bug so that the cursor stops working. It's annoying as hell, and it would probably be really annoying if you were on a pad for everything. The game does work if you have a USB keyboard plugged into your PlayStation. It will read that. So I use that for a lot of the controls. They really, really, really need to get a patch out to fix that cursor bug though. And it doesn't happen very often, but when it does, it's a total nuisance. Not such a big deal in passenger runs, but if you're running freight, you sometimes need to be able to. On the American trains, there's some controls that you need to be able to use the click and grab if you're switching ends, and it's that stops working. Doesn't really make anything unusable on this train though. So there's AWS just warning us that we're not all clear ahead. We're not going that fast, so I'm not going to back out of it yet. Yeah, I can see a green up ahead, so let's just pick it up. So that you can operate with the click and grab feature or your keys. And there is a speed limit change coming up, which I think is what that AWS warning was actually for. Doesn't affect us. We'll still be limited to 90, but we're not going to get up to 90 on this stretch. You rarely get up to full speed on the stop and service on the schedules. If you take one of the quicker services with the head code that starts with a number 1, you'll probably only stop once or twice though. Just lifting out a little bit because I can't see around the corner. I think there might be a double yellow for us. We'll just acknowledge the AWS there. And let's just start braking because we're coming up onto the station. Still more or less keeping time. Let's just really step on it a little bit there. I just went past it. I think we're following a stop in service because the signals ahead of us, if that train was in front was going, it would have been long gone by now. It's now a double yellow, so that means the one beyond it is now a single yellow, and the red is now 3 signals away. And when that turns green, you're at least four signals away from a stop. Another train coming in ahead of us. Traffic starting to build up a wee bit. Get ready to lock the doors. Right, so we've not actually got that far to go. It's Ealing Broadway and then London Paddington, basically. Right. I think it is pretty much full speed to Ealing Broadway anyway. Okay, so there's a speed limit coming up. Which we've not actually reached the speed yet, so we'll so the 50-mile-an-hour limit is for the points. We're being shifted over onto the fast lines. But for some reason we're getting right away over an express. Well, don't know why that is, but I'll take it. So the posted speed limit here will be we'll be leapfrogging that train that we've been following. That'll be what it is. Right, so excuse me, up to line speed now. The line speed, we're now on the fast line, so the absolute line speed's 125. That's kind of cool, that thing there. I love those old buildings. Gas cylinders, but I love that sort of old style of building. You see a lot of it around railways still. I like it. Yeah, so fast lines now. So we can go all the way up to our full speed, which is not 125, it's 90 miles per hour for this train. But it's still a fair lick of speed. Take us a little while to get there. Oh, in fact, no, we're not. We're getting shifted back on. That must be that train over on that far platform. We've just passed it. Ah, right, so in fact 70 miles an hour is the switching speed here. These are very high speed points. Usually you have to slow down quite a lot to cross a set of points. was kind of cool. Not every trip's going to have you overtaking and dodging through traffic like that and what have you. You will quite often just be going from one end to the other. Mind you, I've not done all of them yet, so it might be that I've just missed all the good ones so far. That wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. So 2 miles to run, we're not stopping it wherever this place is, I don't know. DSD just making sure that we're still awake. Oh, yellow signal ahead, so let's just get back in the cab. Acknowledge it. So yeah, we're coming into London, Paddington, in rush hour, commuter hour, so traffic's to be expected, I suppose. I can see a single yellow ahead, so I'm slowing down to 60. Pardon me. In fact, the next signal will be beyond the end of the platform at Ealing Broadway, I think. Let's pick up a little bit. Is it before? Oh no, it's before the end. Right, so we need to be ready to stop, I think. Yeah, you shouldn't really use emergency brakes on this train, but I kind of mucked that up a little bit. I regret nothing. Probably get an AWS alert. Now the next signal will be beyond the end of Ealing Broadway. So that's kind of cool. That's just all the traffic on the line making it a bit of a mess of signals on the way in. That train you hear going past, that'll be that express that we got right of way over earlier on. Bugger it. It is quite easy to accidentally tap the emergency brakes on this train. The game doesn't penalise you for it in any way really on this train. It's not one of the ones. Some of the trains, if you hit the emergency, you've got to go through a bit of a long-winded process to get them going again once they come to a full stop. This one, it's just an extension of the brake handle position, and you can undo it just by releasing the handle a little. So it's always about a minute that you wait for your passengers. Apart from on the Northeast Corridor, there's one station in New York where it has you sitting for about 4 or 5 minutes for some reason. And then if you're using the train safety systems, makes you crawl out of there at about 30 miles an hour. For about 2 miles. It's almost impossible to be on time if you're using all the safeties, I think. Well, they work brilliantly on the Great Western. So, almost finished. Straight run in. gradually be going through lower and lower speed limits, but they don't actually kick in until a lot closer to the station than I thought they would before I played this game. Then I think back to playing the really old Train Simulator, and every single time, without fail, it always caught me by surprise how close to King's Cross you got before you had to slow down. That'd be great. I'd love it if they remade bits of that. They have said there's lots more content coming to the game. It is a new product. And it is a fairly new way of doing games for consoles. There's not many games do it the way that I think this is going to develop, where we've got the game and we're just going to get constant content released for it over time. It's not going to be, you know, you buy the game, you spend about the same on it again in DLC, and then you buy the next version of the game. This will just be an ongoing process over time. They have said they'll add to it. I think in their PC games they've extended routes and things before. So it would be kind of cool if they took this route a bit further out and let us go somewhere beyond Reading. Or maybe a bit of branch line or something like that. No, we're not going to be stopping at any more of the stations that we pass. There's a speed limit change coming up. It's a couple of miles away, and this thing stops on a sixpence compared to something like that one there. That one's got the stopping distance of an oil tanker. And it's still greens. Whatever was in front of us is pulled ahead. Or gone off into one of the branch lines somewhere, maybe. So I'll get an AWS tone very shortly just to warn me that I'm approaching the speed limit change. I would already be thinking about braking in the high-speed train. So I'm expecting it to stay all clear for most of the way in. Could have left that later, to be honest. You can give it a nice gradual. There we go. Just more or less at 50 as we cross. The last speed limit change is, well, not the last one, but the next one is a 40, which goes immediately into a 30, and then a nice little run down to the 25. I'm just going to pick it back up a wee bit, because we've actually got a distance to go to that 40. We can lose that speed fairly quickly, and it just keeps us running a little bit more punctually. Actually, I think we're going to be early now. Mile to go, 2 minutes. But we will be doing the last little crawl into the station quite slowly, so let's just shed that speed. Again, could have probably done that a little bit later, but the 25 is actually further down. I think the 30 restriction might be on the high speed lines only. It won't take long to just scrub off that last 15 miles an hour or so. And an AWS alert, single yellow signal, is just to slow you down really. It's never going to be an all clear, because it's not all clear. There might not be a train in there, but there's the line. Oh crap!